He's here to run the show. It's Dan King. You should already know. Dan King is gonna run the show. Oh yeah, listen up now, here we go. Dan King, he is the king of the empire, the chief, the leader. He's here to take you higher. He brings the heat. All hail the Game Boy geek. Dan King is here to run the show. Oh yeah, you should already know. It's Dan King, and it's the top 100.
Hello, my friends, Game Boy Geek here. It's my top 100 games of all time. Today we're looking at 80 through 71. Let's get started. My number 80 is the only war game you're going to see on this list because I don't typically like them, but this one's different. I was talked into playing this one. I normally wouldn't have played it, but I actually really like it a lot. We're talking about 1775 Rebellion from Academy Games. Now, why do I like this game? Well, you probably have heard before, I like realistic themes. I like historic themes. This game, and just like a lot of Academy games, in the rules section, they have a lot of information of the history behind things. All the cards, again, the flavor text on the cards, and all the other things in the game are historic. So historic things that happened, and I like that. For instance, I must have been asleep during school, but I didn't remember the Germans were wearing orange and came to help the British, and the French were helping the Americans. I kind of forgot all that stuff, and I got to relearn it through this, but having fun while doing it. I love it. It's 2 to 4 players. You can play with teams. You can play one-on-one. Two player there. And I like how the different militias and different sides have different feelings to them. Like the militias they run and they flee a lot, where the redcoats are the strongest attacking ones. And each player has different dice. And then there's the Native Americans with thematically, if the first person to go and befriend them gets to use them in their things. And you're going around, and it's basically area control war game. But the way the dice roll, the way the factions act differently, it's actually very light, but not very light, I wouldn't say. I'd say it's like a light medium, but it's for war games, it's light. Anybody can play it. It's very fun, and I highly recommend 1775 Rebellion. My 79 is a newer game. It's based off an original game about coffee called Viva Java, the coffee game. This is the sequel to that called Viva Java, the coffee game, the dice game. This recently came out, 2 to 4 players, takes about 30 to 45 minutes to play. And what do I like about this? Well, I haven't played the original Viva Java, the coffee game, but what I like about this, well, chucking dice is always fun. I like how it has a push your luck element where you're trying to roll a dice to get these premium blends made, and if you hold on to it and you can keep it throughout the turns, you can get more points that way, and then you have to take a dice off, and you got to push your luck whether you think someone's going to beat that poker hand on that of your dice or not. So there's some pressure luck element there. There's also a lot of different research tracks that you can go, and this is what really makes this game explode for me, is that there's so many different things that you can set the game up with. There's like 20 something different abilities, and they're randomized at the beginning of the game, so every game feels completely different. Instead of trying to get the premium blends, you can go off and try to get some research, which will give you special abilities for the rest of the game. There's different ways to score points. It's one of those games that's pretty light, but yet there's enough depth there and enough replayability that makes this a really solid filler. It's almost like the cap of like filler versus regular game, because it is sort of a filler in time, but there's a lot of depth and a lot of replayability, and I really love this one, Viva Java, the coffee game, the dice game. My number 78 is a puzzle game, recently reprinted this year by Z-Man Games. We're called Enigma. Now this is a game where it's sort of real time, where you're putting together puzzles. There's different puzzles. There's some that you're trying to put pipes together. There's a mathematical puzzle. There's a spatial puzzle. There's 4 different puzzles that you can try to get, and you get to select which puzzle you want depending on your turn order, and then you flip it over, and everybody in real time tries to finish the puzzle. And as soon as the first person finishes it, they flip a timer. Everybody else has 30 seconds or so to finish their puzzle. Anyone that's completed their puzzle gets the tile that their puzzle's on that has different colors and such on it. And you're placing them out on a board, kind of like Carcassonne, where this is like Puzzles meets Carcassonne, where you're trying to place tiles on a board to construct a nice little tube and a nice little line of colors of yours, and you're doing some area control there to try to score points, and then you're trying to close off all those things to try to finally score points. So it's like I'm doing puzzles, but yet I'm trying to create something on the board. It's a really interesting concept. If you like puzzle games, you're going to want to check out Enigma. My number 77 is a family game. It's been around for a long time, reprinted by Stronghold Games. Survive the Escape from Atlantis. This is a classic, good family game. In this game, It's interesting. You've got a bunch of people that you're putting on the island. Each of them are worth different amount of points, so you're secretly putting them at the beginning of the game where they are. And throughout the whole game, you're trying to get those people off the island safely to the shore. And different things are going to happen. People can be rolling dice and putting sea monsters to kill your guys. They can have sharks kill your guys. They can have whales destroy the boats that your guys are in. So there's a lot of take that mentality of you're kind of messing with your opponents, but also sometimes you're working with other opponents because you're in the same boat. Both of you are trying to get it to shore and keep it safe. So sometimes you're working with people, sometimes you're working against people, sometimes those people are the same people. And so it's a very interesting dynamic. It's fun, it's easy, it's a great family classic game. Survive Escape from Atlantis. My number 76 is a game from Queen Games that I know that Tom actually does not like, but I really like this one. It's called Show Manager. This is a game where you are putting on different shows, Broadway shows and theaters in different countries around the world. New York, Stockholm, things like that, Berlin. And so it's a hand management game, and it's sort of an auction where different actors and actresses will be coming out for auction, and you can pay a certain amount depending on how long they've been out there. And so it's a money management. You're trying to figure out who's the best actor to hire, but some of them are only good at one role or one role. Some of them are good at multiple roles. So you can use some of these in one play or another play, and you're always trying to, it's hand management because you can only make one play at a time, really. And there's some limits as to how many cards you can hold depending on which play you're playing. So there's a lot of thinking of trying to figure out, well, which cards am I going to keep? How am I going to manage these hands? Which play am I going for? And then there's a dynamic of, well, some of the cities, they'll be worth more points. They're very swingy. The top scores are very high, but the low scores are very low. And some other cities are more neutral. It's kind of all just medium range scoring. So you get to decide sometimes, if you're the first person to make a play of a kind, which city do you want to go? Do you think you're going to have the highest score in this one? If so, go to one of the very swingy cities. If you don't think it's going to be that good, go to one of the other cities. So there's a lot here. It's very fun. The artwork's great, and it's just fun to make plays and look at the characters and watch people outbid each other. Show Manager. My number 75 is just a very little itty bitty card game, but it packs a punch, and I think it's really fun. It's called Coloretto. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes to play, 2 to 5 players. This uses almost the same main mechanism as Zuluretto, which was a Spiel des Jahres that people might know about. It uses that same mechanic where you're bringing cards out of different colors, and you're trying to figure out, well, should I place another card on that stall or pile, for example? Well, I know it's going to help that person, but it might hurt that person. What do I want to do? So you're either playing a card or taking a whole stall of animals, and you're putting them out in front of you of different colors. And you're trying to collect sets. You're trying to get the most number, like maybe if I can get like 6 blues, that's going to really exponentially make my score. But you can only collect 3 colors. Any other color after that is negative points. So what you're trying to do is get the colors that you're really working for, but not take any extra colors. And you're seeing what other people are collecting. And so if someone else is collecting a bunch of blues and they already have 3 colors and orange isn't one of their colors they're collecting, and you already see a blue in a stall and you pick up an orange, you can throw it down there knowing that, hey, if he takes this blue, it's going to hurt him because it's going to get negative points from the orange. And it's this push and pull and trying to figure out what other people are playing, what other people are collecting, and trying to figure out what the best thing to do at the time. It's simple, easy to teach, but very fun. Coloretto. My number 74 is a city building game. When I was a kid, I used to love playing SimCity, the video game, and this kind of felt like this to me. It's a tile-laying game called Suburbia from BZA Games. It says 1 to 4 players. I guess you can play solo. The box says 90, but usually it takes me more closer to 60 minutes where you're building a city. You're bidding on different tiles that come out in different ways, and you're putting them in your city. And the thing I like about this is one of those games where it didn't blow me away the first 1, 2, or 3 times I played it, but every time I played it after, it just continues to get better and better and better. You're always trying to match and balance the amount of population versus the amount of money you have. And as the city grows, you get knocked down a little bit. So every time you take 2 steps forward, you take 1 step back because the city's growing and it's hard to withstand everything. And it's just this constant struggle. Plus, there's a lot of interaction with other players. There's certain tiles that say, hey, you get this depending on how many total airports are on the board, and you have to look around. So when you're buying tiles and you're doing things, you can look at other players' cities and see what's going on. So it's got some interaction, it's got some bidding and auction mechanics, and that whole balance between money and population is really good. This is one that continues to grow on me, Suburbia. My number 73 is another historic political type of game. It's called Founding Fathers. It's from Jolly Roger Games, designed by the same people that did 1960 Making of the President, which I talked about earlier in one of my earlier top 100 videos, and Twilight Struggle you might have heard of. Very card driven. What you're trying to do is put together the Constitution of the United States, and I love this. The rule book, again, has information, historical information about everybody that's in the game. So you can really learn a lot of the history of the people that were putting together the Constitution of the United States. They actually went through a lot of research and made the board look just like how it looked back then. They show pictures of what the rooms looked like that they were talking about the Constitution. You're taking delegates from different states and you're voting yay or nay on different amendments to the Constitution, and also you're trying to maybe go to debate rooms to try to get points that way. It's just a really interesting game where you've got cards that you're playing, and the cards can be used for multiple things, events, so you can discard them, move up in debate tracks. There's a lot to think about, a lot of interactions, a little bit of take that things of messing with other people. Sometimes you're working with people, sometimes you're not. It's a good card-driven game with a historic theme that I like, Founding Fathers. My number 72 is a card game by Reiner Knizia, a pretty light one to learn, Botswana. It takes, 20 minutes? It plays 2 to 5 players. What I love about this game is, well, first of all, my wife likes it because it has the animals. It has like these actual animals, this version from Griffin Games, that you put out. There's zebras and lions and such like that. And it's really fun. If they were just tokens, this game wouldn't be nearly as fun. You actually have these like nice big animals there. And you're placing them out, and so you have cards, and essentially you're playing cards with different numbers from 0 to 5 on different animals. And so you place a card down where the animal stack is for that animal, but then you can take one of any animal. So I might be throwing down cards and picking up different animals. And it's really interesting. It's so simple to teach like that. You already know how to play the game. But what the interesting thing is, at the end of the game, as soon as any one animal has all 6 cards in front of them, they're from 0 to 5, that round stops. And whatever is the last card played on each stall, that's how many points that animal's worth. And so you look in front of you and you see what animals you have and you see how much they're worth. And it's so simple, but yet there's so much to think about. Like, okay, he's pulling a lot of zebras. He must know that he's got a lot of high zebra cards. Or he must know that he has the 0 card. He's not going to end up playing it towards the end of the round. So it's just really interesting. Simple game, but really thinky, actually. There's more depth than it looks. And it's just a really fun game. And the animal theme is fun. And those animals really make it Botswana. All right, the last one for this video, number 71, is a party game that I have a lot of fun with. It's where you're trying to create, it's kind of like, uses similar to Apples to Apple style, but you're trying to sell something crazy to somebody. So this is called Snake Oil, and this is a game where you're getting a bunch of random cards in your hand, and somebody will be the judge, and they might be a clown, for example. And you have a bunch of cards, and you'll have to have, each of those cards have like one little, one thing on it, and it might be like beard or all these different things. And so, let's see, the box has it here. Beard, ring, fire, odor, whistle, pen. Those are some ideas that you may have in your hand. And what will you sell to a clown? And you may say, well, and this is the part that's really, you have to be really creative. Well, you don't want to get sick because you have no insurance, so you'll have an odor beard, which will keep the kids far enough away that they don't get their germs on if you're not sick. And everyone goes around and sells their thing. And everyone kind of like messes with everybody else. His is not good because of this, but mine's good because of this. And this game goes over really huge, and you will cry laughing a lot. I will say, though, it will not go over great with people that are shy or shy groups. They got to be open, and if they're creative, if you play this with a creative group, it's great. Snake Oil.
He's here to take you higher. He brings the heat. All hail the Game Boy geek. Dan King is here to run the show. Oh yeah, you should already know it's Dan King, and it's the top 100 boy.